the principle of conclusion and the principle of passing. I don't know if this is a correct and accurate translation or not, but this is the best that you're going to get. Alaykum salam wa rahmatullah. So, I think Sayyid Hussein did a good job of trying to explain it, but I do acknowledge that it is a rather complex principle, and I think it's important for us to familiarize ourselves with these principles, because at any point, if you have any doubts, then you can always refer back to these principles. Inshallah, the intention is to go through at least some of these so that we can always revert back to them, inshallah. Now, regarding the Sayyid Sistani's definition of the principle of tajawuz, he says that the principle of tajawuz is when you're unsure if you have completed a task, but you've moved on past that task. And the principle of faragh is when you're sure that you've done it, but you're unsure whether you've done it in a valid way or not. These are two different scenarios. And so these two principles apply in all areas of fiqh, whether in ibadat or in transactions, in mu'amalat. So let's assume if somebody, hypothetically, is now thinking whether or not his initial agreement of marriage was correct or not. He's unsure whether the girl or he himself used the correct term or not. Well, first of all, it's already too late. You already have 3 kids. But on a more serious note, yes, because you've already moved on, then that's it. So this is an example of qa'idat, either faragh, which is you don't know whether she said it or not, afwan tajawuz, or faragh, which is she said it, but did she use the right term or not? Either way, you can dismiss these doubts. Now, this applies to salah, as Sayyid Hussein mentioned. But an exclusion to this rule is wudu. Now, As-Sayyid al-Sistani, hafidhahullah, says that the principle of faragh applies in wudu, meaning that if you're sure that you have wiped your head, but you're unsure whether you did it in the right way or not, then you can just dismiss this doubt and move on. However, if you are unsure whether you wiped your head in the first place, in this case, you have to go back, wipe your head, and then do all of the subsequent tasks. Another example is if you've washed your face and suddenly you see yourself washing your left arm. Did you happen to wash your right arm or not? If you're unsure, then you need to go back, wash your right arm, then go back to washing your left arm. However, if you know that you've washed your right arm, but you're not sure whether you started from the place where you're supposed to start or not, did I wipe my entire hand? Did I go through my fingers or not? Did the water run through my fingers or not? Then if you have passed that point, if you're now washing your left arm, then you can dismiss all of these doubts and just move on. If I'm not mistaken, Sayyid Sistani might also have an exclusion about this qa'ida in ghusl as well. I need to double check, inshallah, because there is a disagreement between the scholars about whether or not qa'idatul tajawuz also applies in ghusl or not. That I'm unsure of. But essentially, qa'idatul faragh applies in all areas of fiqh, including, for example, in hajj. You're now seeing yourself performing the 2 raka'at after tawaf. You're unsure whether you've done 6 rounds or 7 rounds. Forget it. Dismiss the doubt and just do your prayer, and you can conclude and it's all accurate. And so this is qa'idatul tajawuz in this case. Qa'idatul faragh is, I've done 7 rounds, but I'm not sure whether I stopped in the right place or not. Then again, you dismiss these doubts as a doubt that you don't need to care about. So these are 2 overarching, comprehensive, important rules, important fiqhi principles that apply in almost all areas of fiqh, with the exception that I mentioned. قاعدة التجاوز does not apply in wudu. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.